Hello, and welcome to another movie review. Today I watched, and I'm now going to be reviewing, The Death of Stalin, which is currently on Netflix. It's a 2017 comedy, and as the title suggests, it revolves around the death of Stalin and the antics that took place in the days following his death. To me, it comes off as sort of a Monty Python meaning of life. You're trying to convey this really serious thing in a comical fashion, and I didn't hate that. I should also say that I'm not a history person. I don't ask me about dates. Don't ask me about the people. I'm not good with history in general. That being said, I do like how, even though it was a bit strange and chaotic, you do learn about what happened. And I can't really find out exactly how accurate it is, but it does seem fairly accurate. One of the things, and this is kind of the actor-writer part of me that always exists, is I love seeing, of course it's horrendous what they did, but I loved seeing the might of the Soviet Union. Again, what they did was horrible, but there's something about just a big power, and when it's conveyed correctly on screen, I think it does a lot, and the death of Stalin does accomplish that, and just really saying, hey, this is the USSR, or Soviet Union, or whatever. It says, this is who we are, and this is what we're like, and it doesn't shy away from that, and so I really liked it. There's a part of me that wishes they had played a bit more with the actual Soviet national anthem, simply for the fact of there's so little that actually ties this to the Soviet Union. Now, obviously, the uniforms are Soviet Union. Obviously, some wording in the background is Soviet Union, but other than that, there isn't really much. And of course, we get the imagery as well. But I feel like there definitely could have been just a bit more. Now, speaking of things that were not Soviet Union, the actors. And I was actually, of course, just reading the IMDb page, and they, basically, there's so many Russian accents, and they wanted to make sure that everyone was able to improv and not have to worry about the Russian accent. Sorry, that's my horrible Russian accent. They wanted to make sure that everyone could speak as freely as possible. So they said, just speak in your normal accent. And I didn't hate that. This was not intended to be a piece of art like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which was in French. This also was not supposed to be something like Parasite that was in Korean. This was designed as a parody, as a comedy. And kind of getting back onto that, there were some moments that were funny. When they're bringing Stalin's body out and they have that kind of classic car jam, almost like bumper cars. That's a bit funny as well. It's that weird kind of comedy where you're not supposed to be laughing every few minutes. They did choose to use a lot of strong language in this film. It is, of course, rated R. They had apparently 68 uses of the F word, 20 uses of hell and damn, and a smattering of other less than accepted words. I don't know if they were trying to use that as a sort of like dark comedy, let's just swear a lot. I did like how it was separated in the, it must have been the, I don't know exactly what they were from. I'm assuming the USSR instruction manual. I don't know, but I really enjoyed when we had the red screen and it said, there will be 3 days of national mourning. Again, it kind of presented itself as a history film, and it was definitely not a history film. It was based on historical events, but definitely not portraying them. It wasn't a documentary. There's a nuanced comedy about the death of Stalin. Upon first viewing, I think it's just a very, not strange, but just not 100% their movie. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. The more there are these little subtle details that really bring you into the movie. And yes, it's a comedy, but you're able to learn so much from it. If nothing else, the atrocities that the Soviet Union caused and what happens after Joseph Stalin dies. So, I am going to give The Death of Stalin 4 stars. It is really creative in the way that it shows what is going on in a historical sense, yet also throws in these little elements of comedy. I'm also going to give this a bucket of popcorn, which means that it's a good rewatch. That's very much all that it means. I feel like there's a lot of elements in here that can be rewatched, and it's something that's not too heavy, and we're able to look at it from a distant point of view. Want more? Check out chrismoviereviews.com, follow me on Instagram and Reddit, sign up for the newsletter, and submit a user comment for me to read, and don't forget to like and subscribe.